Hello, my name is Karen Jeffers Tracy, and welcome to Climate Agents, Agents of Change. Today, I have a very brief podcast for you. I just want to show you some of my favorite sources of climate information. Just a few today, and then some more another day. These are some really fun ones. So first, I'm going to show you NASA. Yay, NASA! NASA has a search bar up here. So you just start here with nasa.gov and you put in climate change and then search for that. And here are 13,000 results. You can also, of course, limit your results. If you can see my cursor over here on the left, you can limit your results to, what exactly you're looking for. Like I'm looking for climate change specifically. Let me bring it down and we'll take a look at what other things. Articles, press releases, gallery studies. So here are some studies, and it also tells you how long it'll take you to read it. So a 3-minute read. So I'm looking at climate impacts, and here are resources to monitor climate change. We also have maps from space for climate science. So there's just so much to study on here, and it's really presented actually in a pretty accessible way. So, and then Our Changing Planet, NASA leadership, new mission will track rising oceans into 2030. So a lot of NASA's work is viewing from space. And let me see, make sense of Earth's subtle motions. There's so much to learn. It's so fascinating. And then so these are all articles so far, but I wanted to show you this, which is the NASA Science Visualization Studio. So that's pretty interesting. You can see visualizations, which are, they take the data. Of course, they don't make this up. They take the data and they plot it and they assign colors to it to help us understand what's happening. And then the article that's attached to it helps you understand what you're looking at. So this is an example of a typhoon which began as a tropical depression on October 7th of 2023, last October. And it gives you an idea. Look at that. You get to, the data that they collected helps them visualize exactly what's happening with these storms. And that is fascinating. And as you know, the warmer temperature of the ocean makes a typhoon or a hurricane suck up more water and also move slower. In other words, it stays in one place and pounds that area longer rather than moving through or moving past. I remember I had friends in Florida, and I was watching that, I think, Hurricane Harvey when it was moving up, St. Petersburg, and it was just moving so slowly. It was staying there so long. It was really hard to think of my friends huddled under all that. They made it okay. But the fact that these storms are moving so slowly and and bringing up so much water and then creating such flooding is because the ocean is warmer, and it's warmer due to human emissions of fossil fuels. Because, of course, as you recall, humans are emitting about 30 gigatons of fossil fuels, excess carbon emissions into our shared Earth atmosphere, as if it was a free dump zone. And that is changing the chemical composition of our atmosphere, which is creating a warmer planet. So let's look at another one. This one. So just quickly, I want to zip through this. This is the European Space Agency, kind of like the European version of NASA. We'll look at that. Results. I put climate change in the search bar, and here are some of the results. 31,000 results. This is one of 10. So here's ESA's Climate Change Initiative. Here's Climate Change Story. And here's a video, ESA and climate change. There was one down here I thought was interesting. It's artificial intelligence, climate change, ESA focus on, space technology, Monitoring climate change from space. I want to see that one. So, and these are, so this is really good. This shows us what are some of the things that we can actually see from space that can help us monitor the changes in our planet. And of course, the article then describes what you're seeing in the visualization. And in her opening speech, President of the United Nations General Assembly said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. That's pretty pretty positive to think that we can manage things, but we'll try to manage it. Rising temperatures and the effect of climate change are huge environmental challenges. I want to look at this picture again. There we go. Oh, where is it? There we go. So you could check, we can actually check the aerosols, the cloud covers, the greenhouse gases, the ozone. The color of the ocean is very important in looking at the effects of climate change because, of course, as the ice melts, more blue ocean is exposed to solar radiation, which warms it even further. And you can check sea level rise. So let's go back. Oh, let's go to the next one. The next one is the climate emergency. Action for the Climate Emergency, which is also Alliance for Climate Education. They are a fantastic group which creates curriculum which helps teach young people about climate change. And one of the things that's really powerful here are testimonials, direct videos made from young people who've been affected by climate change. So here's climate justice and air pollution in Illinois. Here's climate justice and activism in Wisconsin, drought and flooding in Georgia. Something that I see and often talk about with other climate action advocates like myself is that the effects of climate change are dispersed kind of so far that sometimes a lot of people aren't aware of it. And we aren't really aware that people, even here in our own country, are suffering from flooding and displacement, fires that displace them, even heat domes and heat deaths have happened where hundreds of people have died in some cities, 300 I think in Chicago at one point. So, and yet it's not, that to me should be a national tragedy that everyone knows about. So that's what this helps to show. You get to hear directly from some of the students and the people who have been impacted. So that's a very powerful part. They also have a curriculum. So they have, these are the different categories they have action in. Okay. And then part over here, which is also the same, part of the same organization, is the climate education that inspires. It's called Our Climate, Our Future. So it's a related but a connected website. Our Climate, Our Future is a collection of educational resources on climate science, climate justice, and climate solutions. And what's really great is this one is led by young people. So
Our Climate, Our Future educates young people about the science of climate change and empowers them to take action.
Empowers them to take action. So that's that one. And then quickly I want to show you this one, which is Earth Null School. Earth Null School is an aggregation of all the weather monitoring satellites and temperature data collection stations, all the things that usually our weather the weather system gets its data from. But this is a visualization that connects them all, and you go over here to Earth, and then you pick what you want to look at and what the colors will mean. So I want to make sure you understand the colors are not always temperature. So for instance, if you see red, you're not always looking at a red hot temperature. Sometimes you're looking at, surface speed, wind speed, or so as you see, we can look at the air, the wind, We can check the height, and now it's important to understand this height is in hectopascals. Now, that's not as complicated as it sounds, but hectopascals are air pressure, as I understand it, and that is how we look at the height. So the altitude is measured in hectopascals. So right around here is the jet stream, and what's cool, you can look all around like that. And let's see if I do this. Yep, I'll zoom it in, zoom it back out. Let's see, zoom it in further, and we're looking at the jet stream and how wobbly it is. All right, so let me go back a second. Do you see how, so we're looking at the North Pole here. Let's get so there's the United States. Let's go up here, and there is the Arctic. And the jet stream is very wobbly. Oh, also this data is very fresh. This is, I think, updated very quickly, so it's just a few hours old. Oh, it'll tell us here the time right here. The date. So the date is today. And when we want to know what the red means, okay, you go here and you click on it, and it'll tell you what we're looking at. So we're looking at wind speed right now. And the wind speed right here, when you click on it, makes a little circle. Then you go over here and it tells you kilometers per hour, or you can change it to miles per second. Wait a minute. We changed the units. Okay, miles per hour. There we go. So 91 miles per hour is right there. And then you can change it and look at what's the blue mean. Well, the blue is slower. It's only going 8 miles per hour. And let's look at the green. Here's the green at 33 miles per hour. So, and those are all at hectopascals of 500, which is, I need to check. It's either 500 or 700 is the height of like air, like planes, 30,000 feet or something. Sorry, I'll check that for next time. But that's what we're looking at. Oh, just a minute. Okay, so all right, so that was Earth Null School, and it's really fun to play with, and you can find tutorials on YouTube. One last one I really want to show is skepticalscience.com. It's so funny that ExxonMobil pops up at the top when I looked up skepticals. Look, I put in skepticalscience.com, and exxonmobil.com comes up first. That's kind of hilarious. All right, so skepticalscience.com is fantastic. It's links and collections of actual climate science articles and studies and cited research, verified, authoritative research, and it answers the billion-dollar denier industry's questions. So, for instance, if I put in over here, do you see under the go, I'm putting a keyword search, all right? Or we can just go through here and say, what are the most used climate myths? It's the sun. It's not too bad. The climate's changed before. There's no consensus among scientists. Oh, it's not heating, it's actually cooling. Models are unreliable. The temp record is unreliable. Animals and plants can adapt. It hasn't warmed since 1988. And all these arguments. Okay, so you could say, so I'm going to put up here, it's natural. It's natural cycles. So here are some articles that address its natural cycles. Okay. And animals and plants can adapt. So this is really important because when you have someone challenge you, you need to actually go and read I don't know that you want to pull it up. You can pull it up on your phone and let's talk about this together. But here, it's a natural cycle right there. And what's cool is you can look at the short version or you can look at the longer version. So you can do a short version or a deeper dive. It gives you that choice. So John Cook is the developer of this. I think it's a wonderful adjunct to our climate work because we want to make sure that we have factual information and that we're standing on true, authoritative science. Thank you for joining me for Climate Agents, Agents of Change, and see you next time. Thanks.